Hello and welcome to another edition of Son of Kaiju Review. I'm Protomet.
I'm Tank.
And today we will be taking a look at the Kaiju movie Kamen Rider J. Wait, this Kamen Rider movie is a Kaiju movie? Yes!
Yeah.
This one was the third 90s, the third Kamen Rider movie to come out in the 90s. And it would technically be the last fuller length movie. I can't say it was a full length movie because it was under an hour.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the length of an episode.
No, the length of 2 episodes. But there weren't. This was Kamen Rider was basically on life support during the 90s, with really the only show to come out for the franchise being Masked Rider, which
we don't talk about Masked Rider.
Not since I already did. But actually, footage from this would be used in that show briefly. In fact, footage from all three I can't even say all 3 movies, because I don't think they used any footage from Shin Kamen Rider Prologue. Probably because that movie was definitely more geared towards adults.
Yeah.
But in this movie, a giant space monster known as Fog Mother arrives on Earth to eat the inhabitants of the planet like she did way back when the dinosaurs existed. Yes, this movie explains that it was aliens that killed the dinosaurs. Aliens.
Sure.
And of course they did that meme gesture.
Yep. Aliens. Yeah, so they're in Fog Mother.
Her 3 big minions, Garai, Zu, and Agito.
Agito.
Please explain why that is funny, Lucas. Okay. It's funny because the second Heisei season of Kamen Rider, which came out in 2001, I want to say, was Kamen Rider Agito. So it went from a villain to a good guy. It's not the same character, though.
Nope.
Not even the same actor. But it is a funny coincidence.
Yep. So, a brother and sister are out camping.
Now, they're not actually a brother and sister. They're unrelated, but they are hanging out together.
Ah, okay.
Which is creepy because one of them is clearly an adult and the other is a child.
Yep.
It's not actually that creepy. It's creepy out of context. But yeah, Koji Segawa and Kena Kimura. They're just out camping,
Yep.
sort of.
He's taking pictures of stuff.
And he met her while she was putting graves for dead animals.
Mm-hmm.
Which, creepy but cute at the same time.
Yeah, just like, well, he kept, everywhere they went, they'd find like dead birds or squirrels or, smaller animals just croak it.
And that's due to pollution and stuff, which isn't super relevant for this movie considering that it's got an alien antagonist.
Yeah. Fog Mother tries to explain some stuff to their 3 minions, and they don't want bananas.
I don't know what you're talking about with regard to bananas. Please don't explain. It's funny or vague. But anyway, they select Kana to be a sacrifice for Fog Mother and her spawn, which are forthcoming. Ew. So they kidnap her and seemingly kill Koji, only for him to be whisked away by Earth spirits and turned into a superhero who is aided by a grasshopper named Barry. After recovering, he faces off with Agito, who turns into I want to say a crocodile and a lizard monster.
Yeah. So,
they fight in a creek or a lake, or a river, not a lake.
they end up fighting. He finally transforms into Kamen Rider J.
Kicks ass.
Yep. I believe this is the first time I've actually seen like a more battle damaged outfit.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't do that much until like the Heisei series, but they did a bit during the 90s because they had a bigger budget. I think Garai originally is going to go face Jay, but then Fogmother's like, no, Zoo, the Wasp Woman, she's got to go fight him. Huh? He's like, okay.
He's like,
I mean, you're the boss.
yeah, I'll do what you
Garai,
want.
you prepare for the ritual sacrifice. Okay.
Yeah, well, fine, sure.
And so Kamen Rider J fights Zoo and kills her.
By falling into Fogmother.
Yes. And that leads to him fighting Garai after getting stabbed with one of Zoo's needles.
Yep. They end up fighting again, and
I couldn't quite figure out what kind of monster Garai turned into.
some metal thing.
Like, I'm gonna go on his Rider Wiki page and try and figure that out.
Yeah, it looked more robotic.
Okay, it's a cobra.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they fight, Kana gets lowered in a cage, and
All these egg things start hatching.
the little fog spawn try eating at the cage, causing Kana to have to climb up to try and save. Barry manages to help out by knocking over Garai's staff, which frees Kana or something.
Freezer and kind of takes her out of that trance.
Yeah, she's in a trance. Then she gets lowered into the pit, into the spawn pit.
So, Kamen Rider J ends up kind of looks like getting somewhat eaten.
Yeah, he falls into a hole, and that's clearly like
Maybe a stomach.
or an esophagus or something, because they're literally inside Fogmother, who has a face inside of herself.
And at this point,
you can tell just from watching this movie that Keito Amamiya had a lot of influence on the creature designs in this movie. That and Zio, he did the creature designs for both of those movies, but not Shin, which is surprising because it kind of Shin's creature designs kind of look like something he would do, but no. Jay manages to escape
by using up all his power. Then he turns into a giant.
Yes, and then he fist fights the Fogmother.
Yep.
And then Super Rider kicks her.
Yeah, but it's just like definitely the biggest rider kick. But what you told me yesterday, it's not the highest.
No, because there are others who are able to get higher. Taking that in context, it's probably not very brand safe.
Nope.
But we don't have a brand, so it's okay. And then the movie's over, and Barry is not dead, or
I guess it's a different Barry, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess something happened to Barry. I wasn't paying too much attention.
Like he got
I was falling asleep while watching this movie, and it's not because this movie was bad or boring. I just was a bit sleepy. Well, it was a comfortable movie to watch. I'm not planning on putting it on my sleep schedule.
Yeah, this movie seemed longer than it actually was. Not like that. It dragged out. It was actually just so densely
finely paced that it felt longer than it actually was. It felt fuller.
Yeah, then kind of at the end of the movie, it's Kana and Koji are back camping again, and
yeah, the day is saved.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of Jay's design because of how similar it looks to Zio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, just look at their head designs right next to each other. Can you tell which one is which?
Not really.
And it doesn't help that when you even see the full costumes, you can't really tell. They look so very similar.
Well,
it was kind of fun. When he transforms inside of Fog Mother into Kamen Rider J, he does like a J finger pose, and I like that the SH Figure Arts version of the character actually has a separate hand to replicate that. That's funny.
He's like,
like it does literally nothing.
Just so you can
it's
pose
just a
him
superimposed J, but yeah, it's fun.
Well,
and Jay would actually appear in some subsequent media, not a whole lot. Like the one that immediately comes to mind is the climax of Kamen Rider Decade, All Riders versus Die Shocker, in which he basically becomes the civilian form of Giant Kamen Rider Decade. Which it makes sense in the movie. Basically, Kamen Rider DN uses a final form attack ride on Kamen Rider Decade, which, when used on other riders, turns them into like weapons and vehicles for Decade to use. But when DN uses it on Decade, he just turns into a giant Decade driver, which then goes onto Jay's waist and turns Jay into a giant Kamen Rider Decade. It makes a lot more sense in the actual movie.
Just turns into a giant belt, and you can turn into a giant.
So he played a large role in what was originally intended to be the end of Kamen Rider Decade, except the actual movie came out while the show was still airing, and the show ended in a way that couldn't have led into that movie. It actually led into a different movie with a different ending, where still nothing is really resolved. But that's Decade. Jay is a decent, self-contained movie on its own. Jay would also appear, I want to say, the next year in a crossover special with Zio, but that was like real super short. That was just like, hey guys, we're here, okay, bye, kind of situation. We're here for one short adventure, and then we're gonna leave. Watch the rest of the movies that this is in theaters with.
Yeah, this movie was fun in its own right, but
it's fairly basic.
Yeah,
it's not a super complicated plot, which is fine.
Yeah. Fair to say, some of the other Kamen Rider movies I've watched have been a bit better, but that was hard to beat that double movie.
I have actually seen some worse Kamen Rider movies. Like when it comes to Kamen Rider movies, I feel it's a bit of a mixed bag. Some are great, while others are pretty meh.
It's like, some just make it to let us know what the new rider's going to look like for the next.
A personal favorite Kamen Rider movie, it's the Kamen Rider Double movie. That movie was awesome, but the personal low point is Kamen Rider Kiva's movie, because it gives a lot of focus to characters that are really not important to the plot, ultimately. To the point where they're not even in the manga adaptation of the movie. They're cut out completely, and almost nothing changes.
Yeah, but
apparently this movie also did get a manga adaptation and a novel adaptation, but I haven't read either of those, so I can't say one way or the other about their quality. Keitama Miya being the guy, creature designer, the creatures look fantastic.
Exactly. Just like,
the effects work is pretty good. It's like 90s good.
yeah. They, like when he's actually fighting Fogmother, when he like tears some pieces off, like more like things come to attack him. He didn't have really no weapon.
No. But at this point in the series, Kamen Riders didn't really need weapons. Outside of like certain circumstances, like Kamen Rider X, he's best known for using a weapon. One could argue that Rider Man's arm was like a weapon, because he could change it. But
yeah.
But yeah, no, you don't really get Kamen Riders with weapons really very prevalent until the 2000s, which was post this movie. So,
well, I remember Masked Rider having like a sword thing.
Yeah, yeah, him and Rider X were kind of the more weapon-heavy riders.
Well,
but yeah, Jay, solid movie.
Oh yeah.
Fairly basic, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No. It was a fun watch, but problem was he's tired.
Yeah, I just had too much to eat. That's what I was. I had the.
He had the itis.
I had the itis.
I thought we would ever bring up a Boondocks question.
You make it seem like that's just a Boondocks thing.
Nah, yeah.
Pretty sure that concept existed before Boondocks. I haven't seen that show in forever.
Me neither. Well, I guess I really don't have any more to say.
No, I've got nothing else, so until next time, I'm Protomet.
I'm Tank.
See ya.
Bye.